Having witnessed a successful zonal public debate across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, the House of Representatives, through its Committee on Constitutional Review, has set before it a compendium of 87 proposed amendment bills with a view to correcting the anomalies inherent in the 1999 Constitution. This took the center stage as various groups of stakeholders presented their stance at a day public hearing on the review of the 1999 Nigerian Constitution held in the Federal Capital Territory.
When do you want it? When do you want it?
There is no gainsaying in the fact that there are unresolved questions as far as the constitutional development of Nigeria from the colonial era of Clifford Constitution of 1922 to the current 1999 Constitution is concerned, especially the latter, which is widely considered a military dictate. This long-awaited public hearing is therefore exigent for constitutional alteration that will reflect true response to the felt needs and expressed desires of the Nigerian people, organized around the central pillars of a modern, functional, and just society.
Since our inauguration, we have embarked on the most comprehensive, most consultative review process in Nigeria's democratic history. We have held retreats with legal scholars and technical consultants. We have convened dialogues with the judiciary, security agencies, and national women groups. We have engaged with our vibrant civil society and held zonal public hearings all through the 6 geopolitical zones of our great nation. Before us today is a compendium of 87 proposed amendment bills, each a response to the felt needs and expressed desires of the Nigerian people. They are organized around the central pillars of a modern, functional, and just society. I must clarify, as we proceed, that the items and amendment proposals before us today are not yet laws. These are, at this stage, proposals, suggestions, and ideas that have emerged through one of the most inclusive and participatory exercises in Nigeria's constitutional history. Importantly, these proposals do not simply represent the agenda of the legislature. Instead, they are, first and foremost, the thought-out demands, hopes, and memoranda of the Nigerian people themselves, gathered through extensive regional dialogues and topically focused public hearings held across the nation. It is therefore essential that the process is not misconstrued. The constitutional amendment journey is designed to be transparent, participatory, and fair. These are not the fixed positions of the National Assembly, but a compilation of the aspirations and contributions of citizens from all walks of life, yet to pass through the sieving nets of the National Assembly at the federal level and the pruning fork of the scrutiny of the state houses of assembly. Today, as we commence this national public hearing, we are opening the floor one last time for those who, for any reason, may have missed the regional sections. We do this to remove every excuse of not being heard, to ensure, in good faith, that the final product of this exercise belongs not to the Parliament, but is accepted by all citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also be clear that while today represents the final stage of direct public engagement in this constitutional review process, it is by no means the final day of work for this constitutional review. Rather, it marks a transition to the next phase and a return to the deliberative chambers of the Parliament, where all submissions will be critically sieved, critically refined, critically improved upon in the preparation for the momentous task of voting. We are considering extensive electoral reforms, including proposals for independent candidacy, the establishment of an electoral offences commission, and a fixed timeline for the determination of pre-election matters to ensure that the will of the people is never again subverted by legal technicalities. Thank you. We have before us bold proposals on the devolution of powers. The landmark bill to move policing from exclusive to the concurrent list, enabling the creation of state and community police forces, is a direct response to the clarion call for localized solutions to our security challenges. We are tackling head-on the long-standing issue of local government autonomy. The bills before us seek to guarantee the financial and administrative independence of our local government, ensuring that development is not an abstract concept dictated from afar, but a tangible reality in our communities. Perhaps most importantly, we are confronting the systemic exclusion that has held our nation back. We are also looking at transformative bills to create reserved seats for women in our legislative houses. Thank you. This will guarantee gender balance in government appointments. I must commend. Thank you. Thank you. I must commend the visionary leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. His renewed hope agenda has created the political will and the enabling environment for these ambitious constitutional renewal. His respect for the separation of powers and his commitment to the rule of law has been indispensable. I must pause here to mention, in the course of doing this job, the President has not interfered in any manner. He has not requested for anything in any manner. As a man who was in the legislative arm before, he believes that independence of the legislature should be allowed to breathe, so that it can reflect the wishes of the people who we represent. Thank you, Mr. President. But let me be unequivocally clear. The ultimate authority for this process does not reside in the executive or the legislature alone. It resides with you, the sovereign people of Nigeria. Your voices, your memoranda, and your passionate argument have brought us to this point. And your continued engagement is crucial to see this through.
Let me begin by commending the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review, under the able chairmanship of the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie-Kalu, PhD, CFR, for providing this open and inclusive platform. By bringing together citizens, civil society groups, professional bodies, traditional institutions, political parties, and other stakeholders, the committee is giving true meaning to participatory democracy and nation building. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It is not static, but a living document that must continually respond to the realities, aspirations, and challenges of our people. The ongoing process of its amendment provides us with yet another golden opportunity to strengthen our institutions, deepen federalism, guarantee fundamental rights, and promote justice, equity, and accountability across all spheres of national life. This engagement is particularly important as it resonates strongly with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, which seeks to enthrone good governance, inclusivity, and sustainable development. The process you are undertaking today is therefore not only about amending legal provisions, it is about giving Nigerians renewed confidence that their voices matter in shaping the future of our democracy. I urge all participants to approach this exercise with a spirit of patriotism, responsibility, and constructive dialogue. The quality of ideas generated here will go a long way in shaping the laws and institutions that will serve generations yet unborn. On behalf of the federal government, I wish the committee and all stakeholders fruitful deliberations and assure you that the outcome of this process will receive the desired and deserved attention as part of our collective quest to build a stronger, more united, and prosperous Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I wish to begin by commending the committee for its diligence and inclusivity. They have demonstrated through their work that a constitutional amendment must be a listening exercise before it becomes a legislative one. The publication of the summarized compendium of bills, the online portals for feedback, the open invitations for memoranda, and the dedication with which members attended zonal sessions all demonstrate a people-driven process. I congratulate the Deputy Speaker and every member of the committee for discharging this responsibility with integrity and patriotism. I also salute all who travel from every corner of the country to participate today. From the outset of this review, the House of Representatives has pledged that we will conclude the process in a timely manner. Nigerians are wary of constitutional reforms that drag on for years, losing momentum and eroding public trust.
Many has argued before now that the 1999 Constitution was handed over to us by the military and as such does not reflect nor represent the will and aspirations of the Nigerian people. Hence, this incessant clamor for alteration of the Constitution from time to time. As it stands today, the 1999 Constitution had received 5 different alterations at different times by different assembly. Now, upon the inception of the 10th Assembly, the President of the Senate, being the Chairman of the National Assembly, in collaboration with his brother, the Speaker of the House of Reps, constituted yet another standing committee to further review the 1999 Constitution, following these unabated demands from Nigerians to make the Constitution theirs by putting provisions that will actually reflect the will of Nigerian people. That is the rationale behind this public hearing, and that is why we are here. I therefore want to charge all Nigerians to own up this exercise, because the Constitution is not for the parliament, is not for the courts, neither is it for the executive, but for the entire Nigerian people. I urge you to seize this ample opportunity presented by the House of Representatives to boldly come up and ventilate your feelings, all geared towards having a better constitution that we can actually call ours. I wish all of us peaceful deliberation so that at the end of the day, history will have it that the 10th National Assembly gave Nigerians all-encompassing and people-oriented constitution. Thank you. May God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
There couldn't be better time for this. The reason being that this year, 2025, is celebrating what we call Beijing plus 30. 30 years by which progress has been made throughout the world when it comes to women's rights and gender equality. But this year is also 5 years before we reach 2030, where the target is set for the Sustainable Development Goal. And as you know, the goal number 5 is not only one of the 17 goal of the SDG, but it's one of the most important. Our pride today is to see Nigeria taking this path. And as I always say, when I speak in this kind of gathering, I remove my hat of UN resident coordinator and speak as a son of the soil, speak as a son of the continent. It is a sub-region and a continent where people look up to Nigeria. When Nigeria progress, the rest of the sub-region and the rest of the continent progress. By taking the seed bill, you are showing the way to the rest of our continent. You are rising to the leadership that we look up to Nigeria for the sub-region and for the continent. That's why you can be sure that this journey is not only yours. This journey is our journey too. And in each of these steps you will make, you will find UN through the coordination that I represent here, but also through the agencies that are represented here, which are the United Nations Women's Organization, the United Nations Development Program, the UNIDO. Our entire family will be with you in this journey. Don't feel alone in this journey. Thank you.
Thematic areas for the public hearing covers electoral reforms, judicial reforms, legislature, inclusive governance, security and policing, and devolution of powers.
As international partner, the EU is following very closely this process. Of course, we are very careful not to meddle into what must be sovereign choices of the Nigerian people through their elected representatives and senators. But we are here to provide technical assistance, expertise, support for consultations with stakeholders. And this is what we are doing in a number of subjects on the agenda of the committee, responding to your request for support. Of course, on inclusive governments, with a special seats bill, a Nigerian-made draft reform, especially important to strengthen democracy to the benefit of all, men and women alike, and to make history. This is a great opportunity for Nigeria to make history. We are also supporting electoral reforms. We have currently our electoral follow-up mission in town, following up on our EU observation mission during the 2023 elections and exchanging with authorities, responding to the invitation of INEC. We are also supporting your works on judicial reforms, on local government autonomy, on institutional strengthening, and on fundamental rights. And our hope is that this constitutional review will consolidate your country as a united, strong, stable, inclusive, and progressive democracy with a political level playing field, offering enhanced guarantee for the respect of fundamental rights, building a sustainable and social-minded model responding to the needs of citizens, particularly those most vulnerable, on the basis of a solid economy spurred by free and fair competition and by the formidable entrepreneurial spirit of Nigerians. Yes, with skillfully crafted constitutional reforms Nigeria has the potential to be more and more a lighthouse of democracy for Africa and the world. So we wish the best of success to all members of the committee and all associated stakeholders in this process so important for your nation. And rest assured that you can count on the European Union and its member states as Nigeria's reliable and close partner. Long live Nigeria's democracy. Thank you very much.
The armed forces submitted a legislative need for amendment. The purpose of the submission was to address critical legislative gaps. The armed forces submission focused primarily on the need to amend the Armed Forces Act Cap A20 Law of the Federation for related matters. Some sections of the Constitution were also considered for proposed amendment as they affect both operational and administrative effectiveness of the armed forces of Nigeria. Some of these sections include, but not limited to, Section 6 of the Constitution, Part 3 Supplemental Section 217 and 218, Chapter 8 Part 2, Chapter 2 Part 1, and finally Part 2 Miscellaneous Provisions, amongst others. The Armed Forces Observation. It is, however, observed that the release compendium of the bill that we are here discussing today, nothing concerning the Armed Forces of Nigeria was mentioned. The Armed Forces of Nigeria respectfully request clarification on the reason for the omission to better understand the status of the submission and the way forward. It will be appropriate for the Armed Forces of Nigeria if informed for the reason for such an omission. To conclude, the Armed Forces remain committed to supporting the legislative process and contributing to amendment of a robust legal framework to strengthen national security and cohesion. Thank you and God bless you.
The Government of the United Kingdom is committed to our modest support for this process through our partnership with the Policy and Legal Advocacy Centre, PLAC. Our support is rooted in a shared belief that inclusive governance built on public participation, built on the need for fostering public trust, is a cornerstone of a resilient democracy. As your partner, the UK understands that any constitutional reform process is a complex undertaking. It needs thoughtful deliberation, the building of sufficient consensus, and the creation of shared visions for future arrangements. But any such process also presents a rare opportunity to strengthen institutions and reflect the changing needs of society, and an opportunity to continue a national journey to building more capable, accountable, responsive, and therefore more inclusive and equitable state. It's the sovereign right of Nigeria's elected representatives to lead any such constitutional review process. As onlookers, we're encouraged by the scope and ambition of your proposals, and there are some which will make a real difference to building your nation state, to make it more responsive, more inclusive, and equitable. I am, of course, talking about the Special or Reserved Seats Bill, which seeks to enhance women's representation in Parliament, addressing a real concern felt by many across the nation about equity. The bill is a major step towards more inclusive representation. Around the world, we have seen how increased participation of women in governance leads to more equitable decision-making, stronger democratic outcomes, more peace, less conflict, and increased economic growth and prosperity. It's therefore great to note the very widespread support for this bill, sponsored by the Right Honourable Deputy Speaker, very much our he for she, amongst Nigerian citizens throughout this process, and especially at the zonal public hearings of the committee around Nigeria. Equally important are the proposals on decentralised policing. Security is a key area of cooperation between the UK and Nigeria, and at our recent Security and Defence Partnership dialogue in London in July, we reaffirmed our commitment to work together to address shared threats that do not respect borders and put both our peoples and our economic goals at risk. Policing is an important component of our partnership, and we look forward to working with you to implement the outcomes of the review process in this area. We commend the Constitution Review Committee for engaging on these and other issues touching on electoral reform, local government, the judiciary, and so on, issues that Nigerian citizens truly care about, in a consultative manner to debate the evidence, the pros and cons, and find the best ways forward. As your long-standing partner and friend, the UK remains committed to supporting democratic institutions and processes that build a Nigerian nation and state that's more peaceful, prosperous, and responsive to the needs of its citizens.
I am delighted at the presence of so many women today. The Resolve 3 for Women proposal will create additional seats in the National Assembly and state assemblies to ensure that every state and senatorial district has women's voice in lawmaking. This is not populism, but a constitutional mechanism to accelerate gender inclusion until structural barriers are dismantled. Similar provisions ensure representation for persons with disabilities at the federal, state, and local levels, recognizing their right to fully participate in shaping the laws that affect their lives. Another amendment requires a minimum threshold of women in ministerial appointments to ensure gender balance. These measures will make our democracy more representative and our policies more responsive.
Today, as the gender bill comes before the National Assembly for its review, I stand here pleased to personally appeal to the conscience of my dear colleagues, because my career started from the House of Representatives. So I'm appealing to you as my dear colleagues, and indeed to the nation. This is not about privilege. It is about justice. It is time to give back to women a fraction of what they've always given to the men. At this stage of my life, I should have retired from active politics and devoted myself solely to quiet reflection. But how can I? How can I sit by when I see every single day the injustice and exclusion that Nigerian women face in this country? My conscience will not allow me to keep silent. I must speak, not for myself, but for the millions of women whose voices remain unheard, even though they toil, sing, dance, face danger, struggling with men to win election. I want to believe that this should be reciprocal. Please, my dear members, because we cannot use the women for campaign. I know all of us standing here, I know how much we have traversed this country to support candidates, presidential candidates, Senate candidates, governorship candidates. We do not envy them when they get to their position. But please, can you allow us room to also come in and take position? I'm not a gender politician. I do not believe in tokenism. I believe that every leader must work hard, earn trust, and win elections through the people. But I cannot deny the structural barriers that women face in our politics, a reality I know too well. I contested and won 4 elections at a time where you had to win elections to be declared winner. I rose to the position of deputy minority leader in the Senate, not through honor, but through the support of the men. So can we have those men again here today that supported Itagiwa? You know, I see one of my supporters who is a man sitting in front here, who helped me through 4 elections to win election. Please, I'm appealing. Allow me to appeal to the conscience of Nigeria that women must be included. Please. This bill does not lower the bar for women. It levels the field. It does not hand out favors. It corrects decades of exclusion. The proposed special seats are not permanent. They are a breach, a corrective measure to heal the imbalance until women can compete on equal ground. You cannot continue to celebrate women only on Mother's Day or applaud their sacrifices at home, yet deny them a seat at the table when national decisions are made. The same time that cradled our nation's leaders as infants are capable of drafting laws, shaping policies, and steering Nigeria into the future. Please, to my colleagues in National Assembly, please, this is a defining moment. Let us prove to the world that Nigerian men are also gender-friendly, that they love and respect their mothers. Let us rise above all fears and prejudices. Let us embrace the truth that no nation can truly prosper while half of its population is locked outside of leadership. Let it be the credit of this present National Assembly that this gender inclusion bill is passed. Because posterity will always remember you. Posterity will remember you forever. And the women of Nigeria will continue to respect you and praise you. All these women here have been singing and dancing all day in anticipation. Please let it be reality. Stand with us because we stand by you. God bless you all.
As it is right now, we are at a 0% level of participation in governance. We are triple jeopardized. We are excluded. We are underrepresented in every sector. In Kenya, we have a visually impaired woman who is a senator in Kenya's parliament. What is Nigeria doing? As it is time we move from exclusion to inclusion, from inclusion to participation, and from participation to representation. We also need to move from policy to practice. But before I go on, I sincerely and deeply want to appreciate the leadership of the 10th Assembly, the Senate and the Speaker for including 5% for persons with disabilities, especially women. Please, a round of applause for the 10th Assembly. And we are also here to tell you that women with disabilities can become the best governors, the best senators, the best members of the House of Representatives, the best members of the state houses of assembly, and any elective or appointed positions. And don't forget, there is productivity in disability. What did I say? There is productivity in disability. Include us, include us, include us now.
And while we are calling for our own representation in the reserve seats, we're also looking at the need for a general inclusion of persons with disabilities in the Constitution. A few amendments to some of the sections of the Constitution. In general, disability should be explicitly recognized as a protected category under the Constitution. And that is what we are calling for. Disability affects every one of us. If it hasn't reached you, it hasn't passed you by. So for that reason, disability issues should be explicitly recognized as a protected category under the Constitution. Specific disability rights are to include under Chapter 4 of the Constitution, looking at the fundamental rights of everyone. Persons with disabilities shall have equal opportunities in every sphere of life, and particularly shall be entitled to the rights provided herein. Persons with disabilities shall have the right to special protection by the family, society, and the state. Government at all levels.
I'm here to represent the Nigerian women on behalf of the Honorable Minister, Honorable Iman Suleiman, FSI, who is unavoidably absent in Nigeria today. She's overseas representing the women of Nigeria at ONGA. Yes, what we are here for women is that, it is this gender bill, it is our bill. This bill has been in and out of National Assembly for a very long time, and we are very happy and appreciative of the 10th Assembly because we can see that this time around there's no light at the end of the tunnel because all hands are on deck and we can see willingness to pass this bill. All we are asking is that as women, we are the mothers, we are the ones that we bring out the population. We take pregnancy for 9 months. On the Labor Day, all of you know what women go through on Labor Day. After that, we take care of the children. At last, on the election day, it is the women that stand under the sunshine and under the sun and under the rain to vote for our sons and our daughters. Therefore, all Nigerian women have now put their voices in one voice that this time around, please give us seats that is specially reserved for the women. We are not asking of the men on the remaining 360 House of Representatives, the other 109 Senate seats, the other House of Assembly seats remain intact. Just 2 or 3 extra for our mothers, I think it's not too much. So please, National Assembly, we rely on you, our children. Consider, you can imagine your mother asking for something. No child born of a mother can say no. And this time around, we are mothers, speaking to your conscience, please pass this bill, which we are sure we are going to pass it.
Today, the top agenda on the review on the alteration of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of 1999, as we are having a national dialogue today here, is the bill on the reserve seats, which we believe that going forward, from what we have seen, it is going to scale through this time. This is a bill, when put in place, it is going to strengthen the legislation in all the houses of assembly. It will strengthen the leadership in the country as well. It is going to give women more representation, which we believe it is in the right direction, and it is going to be the correct decision because women constitute over 50% of the Nigerian population and they need to be represented. And with that bill, the National Assembly will equally have more stronger decision-making in terms of development, because if you see leadership in women in leadership and everywhere, it is one of the most effective leadership. It has happened in a lot of African countries where special seats has been very successful, and it has changed the development in such countries. For instance, we have, if you go to Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, Rwanda, all of these countries, to mention just a few, it has given ample opportunity for women to participate, and as a result of that, the country has seen a lot of development as a result of that. So we believe that Nigeria is going to step on that direction. And
others are targeted at strengthening of institutions, including the traditional institutions, fiscal reforms, citizenship and indigenship, fundamental human rights, local government reform and its attendant autonomy, as well as states and local governments' creation.
Yes, we thank Allah the Almighty for giving us life and time to come here, and also appreciate the doggedness of the committee of this review, the Nigerian Constitution 1999, which has been chaired by the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker. Actually, we have already submitted a memo, and in the memo we made detail of the role, the importance, going back the history lane of our country and Nigeria, even before the coming of the colonialists. You know, we were actually governing our people very well. We understand ourselves. Our culture values are very, very, significant, very important. Our religious coexistence is very, very mutual. Our security, particularly, very, very intact. So suddenly, along the line, after the independence, we have a series of constitutional review up to 1979. Our roads have been deliberately included. However, what happened in 1999, we didn't know. Suddenly, our roles have been excluded. And since that time, if you observe, the gaps that have been created so wide to the extent that there's no link between the governing and the governed. I mean, the government at all levels, federal, state, and local government. No link. The link has been broken because we are not included. So we are now sitting back and ensuring that this link has been actually been breached and been together so that we'll be able to see how government policies and programs can be implemented. Because we believe strongly, and everybody knows, we are very close to our people, grassroots. If you talk of grassroots management, administration, you cannot compete with the traditional institution. Because we see our people every day, we listen to them, we bear with them. So now we are saying that if we have that legal instrument of working legally, of supporting government programs and policies, we'll go a long way to ensuring that our insecurity, we'll have enough security, we'll have enough peace, and the development will be sky sort of level. So we believe strongly that if the institution is included in the Nigerian Constitution with the specific roles of advising, mobilizing, and ensuring that all the policies of the government actually come to fruition. Because the problem is that implementation. If you have this gap, you can make all policies, you can make all programs, but if the gap is still there, the implementation will be very, very difficult.
Well, I'm glad that you are asking this kind of question. My contribution is that I've come with some other traditional rulers to let them know that we are ready to collaborate with the government to making sure that we have an effective constitution, and also we want the traditional rulers to be included as part of the team to making sure that we are able to move the country forward.
Yeah, the forum is important, because it has to start somewhere. And these are the public hearing, for us to enable us to present our request, our demand for creation of Amana state. So this is an opportunity for us. Yes, I believe that if there's one state to be created in Nigeria, it should be Amana state. Amana means trust, because we were a trust treasury. In 1961, when we voted to join Nigeria, we have option to go to Cameroon or to come to Nigeria, but we are promising Nigeria that our Mubi will be equal to any other state in this country. So, but up to now, Mubi is not a state capital, and therefore that's why we're claiming Amana state, so that which is a trust territory. Amana means trust territory in Hausa, so we are demanding for that to be created for us, so that at least all other provinces have been capitals. Some created 2 states out of the province, and we have been left out up to now. So we want justice to be done to our area.
I came in respect of
a needed state.
Sponsoring a bill.
I am from Niger State. Since the creation
as a member of the UN Women, and they were cool. We need women to be given a reserved seat. And this reserved seat is what we have been fighting for the past 12 years ago. And we have made fragrant efforts to see that it comes to conclusion.
2 states from Niger State,
and we see it as now a thing that will come to an end, and that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has given ears to it. The Senate has given ears to it. The House of Rep has given ears to it. What we only came to do today is just to do a kind of summary for the members of the public to understand that women have been given reserved seats.
I am the Director General Movement for the Creation of Kainji State. And as you can see, my colleagues by the right, Senator Garba Maidoki. On the left, AVM, Air Vice Marshal Sakaba retired. Sallau Bala Sallau Riba retired, and some of our colleagues.
Why are you here? What are you advocating for?
Well, we are here to advocate for the creation of Kainji State. And this movement comprises 2 emirates from Niger State with 1 emirate from Kebbi State. Therefore, just like I have said in my presentation, we want the error committed by the National Assembly to be corrected. We are agitating the creation of this state to be situated in North Central State, North Central geopolitical zone, not Northwest, because 2 emirates from Niger State with 1 emirate from Kebbi State. Therefore, the proper location of the state when created is North Central, not Northwest. So I hope that will be done. You know, you have heard me. I tried to, justify why this state will be created. One, for a very long time, since the advent of colonialism, the people that comprise these 3 emirates were brought together since 1902. And not only that, even though subsequent administrative structures in Nigeria affected them, but still they believe it is time for them to come together because they have a very clear understanding of each other, because they have been trading together, they have had so many intermarriages, so they are just like one people. That is one. Secondly, by population and land mass, the totality of these 3 emirates I have mentioned is 47,394 square kilometers with a population of 3.4 million people. Therefore, if you look at it, from what is happening currently in Nigeria, it is more than 12 states, by the size, by the population. So therefore, we deserve it. And also when you look at the terrain, most of the agricultural land is situated in this area. We are the largest producers of food, and whatever crops that you see, maize, beans, all crops that we have in Nigeria. You said? Across the Federation. And also we have the largest land, the body of water, because the most significant part of River Niger is situated within this area I have called. And we have 2 major electricity, hydroelectricity dams. We have the Kainji, we have the Zungeru dams. So in terms of whatever criteria, we deserve this state.
The validated bill will proceed to face the rigorous scrutiny of the plenary, the complex process of harmonization with the Senate, and the final critical hurdle of approval by at least 24 state houses of assembly.
Colleagues and distinguished stakeholders, the constitution of any nation is the supreme guide and the living framework through which citizens, institutions, and governments interact. Nigeria's experience has shown that no constitution is ever perfect or final. It must remain a work in progress, evolving in response to the realities, aspirations, and challenges of the people it governs. The state houses of assembly, as critical partners in the constitutional amendment process, play a vital role in ensuring that whatever reforms emerges from this process do not remain at the level of debate in Abuja, but are ratified, domesticated, and implemented across our states. The Conference of Speakers therefore welcomes this hearing as an opportunity for broad consultation, citizen participation, and engagement with civil society, professional bodies, and other key stakeholders. We must be frank in acknowledging that Nigeria yearns for a constitution that deepens democracy, guarantees equity and justice, strengthens institutions, and above all, addresses the pressing needs of security, development, and accountability. This hearing is therefore not just about amending text, but about renewing trust and rebuilding confidence in our democratic institutions. On our part, the Conference of Speakers is committed to playing its full role in this process. We will continue to ensure that the voices of states are heard and that the reforms agreed upon here are given the necessary ratification across our 36 assemblies.
We recognize that after the National Assembly votes on these bills, the state houses of assembly must also consider and approve them under Section 9 of the Constitution. To honor this requirement, we have set clear timelines. We intend to vote on the proposals expeditiously and to transmit them promptly to the state house of assembly so that concurrence can be secured within the current legislative session. Reform delayed is reform denied, and Nigerians deserve clarity and closure. By acting decisively, we give states enough time to debate, to deliberate, and endorse the people's will without the pressure of electoral calendars or political distractions.
Constitutional reform is a marathon, not a sprint. The bills validated here will face the rigorous scrutiny of the plenary, the complex process of harmonization with the Senate, and the final critical hurdle of approval by at least 24 states' houses of assembly. Therefore, I implore you, do not let this be the end of your participation. Hold your elected representatives accountable. Engage with your state legislators. Ensure that the reforms you champion here today are not diluted or discarded on the long road to enactment. In alignment with our commitment to transparency and accountability, the final harmonized position of the National Assembly will be made available to the public before the voting process commences.